Hi, I'm Bethany Wallace, Content Manager for College Recruiter. At College Recruiter, we believe every student and recent graduate deserves a great career. We create a quality candidate and recruiter experience. Our interactive media solutions connect students and grads to great careers. I'm here today with Stephen Rothberg, President and Founder of College Recruiter. Welcome, Stephen.
Thanks, Bethany.
Stephen, how can recruiters use social media to drive traffic to their websites or blog pages?
Sure. I'm a big fan of social media. There are probably hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of different social media sites out there, but there aren't that many that really matter. There may be a handful. So let's kind of run through the biggies. First of all, a lot of people will think of LinkedIn as a social media site. I don't think it is. It started off as social media because there was really no revenue model there for the first couple of years, but very quickly, LinkedIn discovered that it was primarily being used by recruiters to try to find somewhat hidden talent, people who were largely working already, who were not posting resumes to job boards, who were not responding to jobs that were advertised online, to job posting ads. So LinkedIn added job postings that employers could pay to advertise their job postings, and also essentially resume searching, which most recruiters are doing using the recruiter license. For all intents and purposes, LinkedIn is a job board. They don't market themselves that way. A lot of individuals don't like to think of them as a job board because their employer would freak out if they posted their resume to a job board, but somehow those same employers are totally fine and in fact even embrace the fact that you're on LinkedIn because that's going to help drive business. I think the reality is that LinkedIn is used a lot more to hire people and to get hired than it is for business leads. And then about 80% of LinkedIn's revenue comes from their talent solutions division. So I think the numbers bear that out. So let's leave LinkedIn aside. Twitter is another big one that's very popular amongst recruiters. A couple of different models for driving traffic. Well, one actually is more driving engagement. One-to-one conversations, you post something, it could be a link to an article, it could be asking a question, and then candidates or other people who are following with you or perhaps otherwise engage with you will answer back, send you questions. Sometimes they're just going to be private, which Twitter calls a direct message. And sometimes they're public for everyone in the world to see, almost like you're at a cocktail party, and then anybody can kind of chime in. We use Twitter in a different way. We use Twitter more as a public relations tool, as a broadcast medium. We have between a couple of different accounts, at Entry Level Job and at Stephen Rothberg, we have about 200,000 followers on Twitter. And so what we do is that we send out a sampling of the newest content on our site. Some of that content will be job postings, and some of it will be articles, videos, etc. that you're posting. That the candidates will see that, they'll click the link, they'll come to our site, and then they might register, apply to jobs, etc. Facebook is another one of the big social media sites, and Facebook is not all that great for recruiters. If you have a company page on Facebook and you post content to it, anybody who goes to your company page can see it and engage with it, but the reality is not very many people are going to do that. What they're probably going to do is they're going to like your page. They're going to incorrectly assume that when they like your page, that anything that you post to your page, they're going to get in their newsfeed like they would their closest friends, and that's just not the case. Only about 4% of the content that companies post to their company page actually get out to the candidates, or I should say really it's more the 4% of the people who like your page are going to see that content. But if your content is really engaging, a bunch of people have liked it, a bunch of people have shared it, rather than your article, video, other kind of status update being seen by maybe dozens of people, you'll quickly see that that number is going to zoom up to hundreds, maybe even thousands, because Facebook's going to look at that content and say, this is content that is actually relevant, that people actually care about, and it's not just some stupid press release. YouTube is another social media channel that I think is often forgotten. I forget about it a lot of times. I forget to think of it as social. It's not as social as, say, Facebook or Twitter is, but a lot of people will post comments to the videos. They'll share the videos. They'll like the videos, which then that shows up for their friends. It's very easy to share the videos to Facebook, to Twitter, it's even LinkedIn, whatever. And it's a great way of engaging. You can also link different accounts. So for example, we have YouTube linked to our Twitter account. So when we upload a new video to YouTube, that automatically gets posted to Twitter. So somebody who follows us on Twitter can go over to YouTube and then watch that video. And we embed a link, it's called a card in YouTube. So somebody who's watching your video can click and come to, in our case, to College Recruiter. In your case, they might go to your career site, blog, whatever. Another thing to mention is that the newest generation coming into the workforce is Gen Z. The oldest of them are about 19 years of age right now. So think of them as high school students, even into middle school, and kind of the first year in college freshmen. And they are increasingly using social sites, services like Snapchat, Instagram, and even Pinterest. They are much more graphically focused, photos, videos, that type of stuff. And I really haven't seen an employer that's done a great job of using those to drive traffic. I have seen employers posting short videos, photos of that type of stuff to drive on a branding play, to get their image, their brands, their message out there. But I haven't seen that really translate into good traffic to their career site or to their blog. But that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Okay. Thanks, Stephen. For more tips on how to use social media in college recruiting, visit us at collegerecruiter.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube.